everybody, welcome to Adobe Live. My name's Erica Larson. I'm an Associate Creative Director here at Adobe, and I'm here with Cristie Stevens.
Hey.
And we're working on a graphic design project, some brand identity for a tea company. We're the last stream for today, but definitely come back next week for all kinds of awesome new content. In about half an hour, we have a chat and win where we'll be giving away a $30 Moo gift code.
Nice.
So we'll be looking forward to that pretty soon. And we'll also be doing portfolio reviews a little bit later, so definitely go over to the portfolio tab and submit so that we can get Cristie's awesome expertise on that.
Shucks.
With that, Cristie, let's look at your work.
Okay.
And you can tell us a little bit about yourself for those who haven't been following us this week.
Hey guys, so my name's Cristie. I am a director and graphic designer living in Los Angeles. I predominantly work on branding for more premium products in venue, food and beverage, lifestyle, consumer goods, all of that good stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So what have we been up to this week so far?
So this week we have been rebranding a tea company called Byron Bay Tea Company based out of Australia. We've been looking at one of the logo concepts, so redoing the word mark and the icon design. And then yesterday we started on some packaging concepts, looking into some color palettes, processing photography into a texture. And then today we're going to try and roll it out into some mock-ups to present to the client.
Cool.
Yeah. So on the first day we ran through how to create a sans serif font out of a serif. And we ended up with this one, this option here. And then I went away and kind of tweaked it to come up with a more geometric contemporary option.
I think it looks great.
Yeah. And then we also worked on the icon design. The concept behind that was the waves kind of coming into the land. So representing the ocean and the land. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And we had a look at some sketches that kind of didn't really work, but I showed you guys where the original concept came from. And then yesterday we played around with some type options, some mock-ups in Illustrator, kind of talked about some type hierarchy and some printing specialties that we might want to consider for the end product.
I loved when you showed how we made that texture too. That was an awesome tip.
Yeah. So where are we for that one? Here.
Yeah.
So we have this texture here,
Beautiful.
which is, let me just see if I can release the clipping mask. Oh, you can't see it. But anyway, it was a photo of the ocean. It was really beautiful. Let's see if I can find it again. Processed, here we go. Yeah. So this was the texture that we made out of a photograph. It was an overhead shot of the sea rolling into the sand. And I processed it using True Grit Texture Supply Zine machine. And I used the stipple effect in there and then inverted the image, and it created this really nice stipply dot pattern, which also references Indigenous art of Australia. So they have a dot style that they use.
Right. And that's really important.
Yeah. Having subtle references, is a nice way to kind of tie back to that. Yeah, so today we're going to put this into a mock-up.
Great.
Yeah.
In Photoshop?
Yes. So we started off just kind of quickly iterating it in Illustrator, just thinking about some layout options. And then I'm going to bring this into Photoshop, into a real life mock-up. Just to give it some dimension. I find that clients really like to see things, how they might look in context.
Sure.
It helps them to, choose a direction and get a sense of how something that can be a little far-fetched from what they previously had feels in real life. It makes them feel more comfortable. Yeah.
I think it's easy for designers to project imagine what something would look like, but for a client, I feel like it's absolutely essential to sell your idea, to do a mock-up.
And because not everybody is a visual person, so they can't just imagine, you know, what you're trying to describe to them. So just actually showing something how it might look in real life is really helpful to get your ideas across. Yeah. Oh, Eric, that's so nice. Eric says, Cristie is one of my new heroes. That's too nice.
So sweet. Yeah.
Very flattered.
Thanks, everybody, for joining the chat, and tell us where you're watching from.
Yeah. Okay. So should we just get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah? Okay. Cool. So I know that one of the packaging applications is going to be like a tin or a tube cylinder. I want to propose that we do a paper cylinder because I think it's really nice. It's just quite modern. Something with like a nice earthy kind of textured stock I think would be interesting. And then we have a tea bag sachet, a single serve tea bag to do. There's also going to be a box. I'm not sure if we'll get to that. And there's a refill bag as well, but I'm not sure if we'll get to that.
We'll see.
We'll just see how we go.
Yeah.
But I think the cylinder is going to be the key one that I want to show the client. And I think it's going to be the most interesting application.
So we have folks watching from Miami, Washington State, Baltimore,
Denmark. Wow. Very cool. Bangladesh. Everywhere. Okay. So let's have a look. Okay. So I'm just using this this PSD mockup. It's all based on smart objects, so you can just copy and paste all of your designs into this this PSD smart object, save it, and then it automatically updates in the mockup, and it's
so nice,
so fast and easy to do, which I love.
Don't have to try to adjust perspective.
No, don't have to worry about gradients or anything like that. It's all done for you.
So handy.
So handy. You can get a bunch of templates like that from Adobe Stock and a whole lot of other references as well. Okay, so where are we? This is the one I want to grab. Oh, so also yesterday I just kind of played around with some other label styles. So adding in this little wave pattern at the bottom I thought could be interesting. I tried to use the serif again, but I think the audience decided it was too illegible. But that's okay. So I think we're just going to stick with this really minimal one here using the sans serif.
Great. And that bronzy color represents a foil stamp, right?
Yes, yeah. So I'm going to start by just bringing in the logo to begin with. Let's bring in this one. And using Photoshop is a really easy way to like bring in paper textures and show how like a foil might look in context. So that's what I really love about using Photoshop for mockups. Okay.
Yeah, it can kind of be hard to keep track of clipping masks and stuff in Illustrator if you're trying to work with texture too much. But.
Yeah, definitely. So I know that I want the base paper or card stock to be a slightly off-white, so a creamy colour. So I'm just pulling that from this colour palette that we created yesterday. So it's still fresh, but it's not as stark as white. Okay. So in my libraries, I have a bunch of different things saved here. So I always use foil in my work. So I have these foil images that I've pulled from the internet, and I just store them in my my Creative Cloud libraries, and I can just quickly drag them into any file that I'm working on, which is really useful and just speeds up the whole process. And then we instantly have a foil effect, and you can just kind of play around with, you know, where you want the lighting to be. It's not going to be perfect, but I think it's good enough for the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm going to bring this stipple pattern in. So in the mock-up yesterday, where are we? I did this band of the pattern around the bottom, which I thought kind of weighted the design well, added some visual interest so it wasn't as bland, you know, having just the off-white container. But it also serves a functional purpose to keep the dirt and scuff marks from showing in a retail setting, which is really useful.
Yeah, I always avoid the scuffed up boxes or the dented cans and stuff,
exactly.
so it's nice that it'll hold up.
Yeah. And so I've just used it's not a solid black, it's like a 90% black, so it's like a charcoaly colour. And I wanted just to have a softer black and then an off-white so that it's not as harsh a contrast next to each other. And black and white is a really premium, timeless palette. And as we talked about over the past few days, there are 23 different flavour SKUs to work with. So all of the labels have to be a different colour, and so that means that the base packaging has to be really neutral to work with all these different colours that are going to be applied over the top.
And maybe even more in the future.
Maybe, yeah, definitely. So that's a consideration. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this this kind of orangey yellow version here. It's a nice, bright, friendly colour, and it's going to work well against the grey and the off-white here.
So Dana's asking, how do you make it look gold and not yellow? Is that just strictly you choosing the right texture from the outset, or
is that the foil? The foil. So I just Google search or go onto the stock sites and type in like gold foil or copper foil, bronze foil, or whatever you want. So I'll actually just show you the image. So that's the bronze foil.
Already the color that you want.
It's already the color that I want. The highlight is a bit too much for me, but I just kind of try and pull that out of the clipping mask. So yeah. Yeah,
when you're looking at stock, you can. Yeah. There are hundreds and hundreds of options to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just keep that one in my libraries. I find that it's kind of a good go-to. But I also have a gold one. It's not as high quality, but.
And Amy's asking, how are you masking the textures in Photoshop?
So I'm just doing a clipping mask. So okay, I'll show you here. So we have this layer for the foil here. So I'll just call this foil. And then I hold down Alt and then kind of click between the layer that you want the image to be masked into. I'm not sure what the menu setting is for that. I always use shortcuts for that one.
That's a really handy one, just that Alt click.
Yeah, Alt click, and you'll see this little, I'm not sure if you guys can see my screen, but you'll see this little kind of square with a down arrow next to it, and that just means that the image above is being clipped into the shape layer below. And I use that all the time.
Me too.
Yeah, all the time. It's really handy. It's essentially the same as a clipping mask in Illustrator, but way easier to use.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And it always works.
Whereas in Illustrator, you have to have the shape on top.
Yeah.
That clips the thing underneath.
Yeah.
So that took me a second to.
Yeah, and you can just
master.
move the layer around within the shape, so it's really easy to use. Okay. So I might even just see if I can copy this whole label in as a smart object. We're probably going to have to play around with the type, but let's just see how this looks. I'm just going to bring that up to the top. Oh.
Michael wants to know if you have a texture image library that you're constantly building.
A texture image library that I'm constantly building. Yes and no. I have enormous amount of textures, and I do have a very large library, but it's not organised. But the short answer is yes. And the long answer is that no. What's like the short answer? Yes, I do, but it's not organised. So that's kind of interesting. I'm missing some details up here, but anyway, I'm just going to save this really quick. And okay, so that's not quite right. So what I need to do is pull down this logo, and I'm going to go back in here. Crop that down, save that. That should automatically update in here. Nope. Yep, there we go. Cool. And then I'm just going to group these, the logo layers, so that I can just move them easily together. Call this logo. And scale it down. So save that, and then that's going to update into the mock-up. So that's just really rough to begin with, but we can already see how the elements are working together. I might just tone down. It seems like there's a contrast layer. Yeah, the shadow. I might just tone that down a little bit and make that 5%. 0.5. Yep.
So we're about 12 minutes out until the chat and win.
Cool. Okay, so from there I know that the black, I want to bring it down a little bit. The label was not quite right. I might just kind of bring everything in a bit, because at the moment the mock-up's kind of making everything skew out to the side, and it doesn't look quite right.
Alice is wondering, did you make the product mock-up yourself in Photoshop, or did you buy it from somewhere?
No, this one I brought, or I downloaded it for free. There's so many resources out there. But I also have a really large library of mock-ups that I've been collecting probably for 8 years. But every year they get better and better and better.
Right.
And they look more realistic. If I go back to the ones from when I first started out in my design career, they're not as good.
Yeah, and you're also more sensitive, having made so many at this point. That
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you are more selective.
Yeah, but sometimes if I do sometimes make my own very simple ones. Like if I want to mock up a website on a nice laptop in situ, that's easy to do, because all you have to kind of create is the rectangle where the website goes, so that's kind of easy. But for something as complex as this, probably not. I don't really have the time to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it's, there are so many resources out there that it's just quick and easy to go and buy something. Yeah. So I'm actually just going to copy this text in. It's not working for some reason. It doesn't want to select.
There we go.
There we go. Will it work today?
Maybe.
It's a font conflict that I have for some reason. So I'm not liking how this is kind of looking. I want to adjust it. And sometimes it's probably not best practice, but I actually design in a mock-up. Sometimes. Like if I'm designing a business card, I might just design it straight into a PSD mock-up.
Just moving back and forth until
rather than designing it in Illustrator first. Sometimes. Okay, so let's just try this out. I just want to get the positioning right here. And I'm going to bring this in, make it a bit more narrow. So I want the logo to be the width of the label, so that it's a positioning marker for the people who are actually sticking on the labels by hand. That's going to be a really subtle but important detail.
Would the consequence of not doing that be cost? Or is it just you being very considerate?
Well, I know there's not a budget to print all of the different flavors. You know, the 23, that would mean 23 different print runs of packaging and all the different colors. So instead we just print one base package and then print all the labels individual, and that kind of cuts costs, and then they're going to stick the labels onto the packaging by hand. So yeah, it's a budget thing and a time thing. Okay, so that's kind of looking a little better. I might increase the size of the pattern down the bottom.
Bruna says, hello, first time here. I'd like to know a bit more about the typography choice and the relation with the concept.
The typography choice, I just wanted to keep it really simple, readable. We did do some explorations of a serif version, which I can just show you here. No, that's not it. Here, which, you know, I thought a serif could work because it, you know, feels more premium, but the consensus was that the legibility wasn't there. And the main goal is to have, you know, easy legibility on shelf, so you can just walk by, quickly glance at something and know what flavor profile you're buying. So just choosing a really minimal sans serif that kind of works well with the logo type, and that can also be used across print collateral and website as well. That was also something to take into consideration.
If you're curious about the font choice and typography in the mark itself, definitely go back and watch day one, because we get super in depth and talk a lot about the nuances of the logo mark.
We do. I'm just having a lot of trouble selecting my type for some reason. Anyway. Okay, that doesn't want to work. I'm just going to type this out.
You're getting all kinds of compliments. Amy says it looks so beautiful.
Oh,
Ivan says it feels very elegant.
Thanks. Okay. Where's my type palette?
And we're about 6 minutes out from the Chat and Win, where we're giving away a $30 gift code to Moo, where you can print postcards, business cards, flyers, all kinds of printed goods. So definitely stick with us, and we'll be doing that shortly.
Okay. That's 18. Okay, cool. So I want to incorporate the serif here where it says with. Just a serif and an italic. I think it's a nice simple detail to just kind of break the simplicity of the actual sans serif. And I'm just going to increase this line height. Auto. Let's go 20. Okay.
Ivan says, need to back off the copy, so I don't mind having some awesome tea. I'm actually curious, what is the go-to morning tea where you live? In the like those of you in the chat, and maybe is there like a specific breakfast tea here, or where you're from?
English breakfast is a pretty common one. Earl Grey.
Yeah.
Green.
Green.
Standards. Yeah.
I know it's chai in India.
Yeah, I love chai. It depends if you want caffeine or not. Okay. That's looking good.
Chamomile, Ivan says.
Oh, okay. I usually drink chamomile at nighttime.
Chill out.
Chill out. Yeah. And so I think we decided yesterday that everybody liked the left-aligned version over the centered, right?
Is that what you liked?
Yeah. I don't mind it centered as well. It's readable. But left-aligned definitely feels more design-led, I think. So we'll just stick with that today. And so I'm going to be a organized person and group my layers.
Name them.
Name them.
Very important.
What are we calling this? Label. I used to be a web designer that designed websites in Photoshop, so I'm very good at labeling my layers.
Sometimes I have to work with other people's files, and when things aren't named, it's not a good day.
Okay, so that's looking all right so far. I might just move that logo up a tad more, and I also might add in some paper texture, just to give it a bit more dimension.
So you were speaking before about having some sort of speckled situation.
Yeah. And I'm just going to slightly decrease that size. So a lot of the stuff is really tedious, you know, moving pixel by pixel, but
Makes a difference.
it makes a difference. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good enough at the moment, I think. I'm just going to bring it in slightly. Ooh. Bring this down the bottom. I'm actually interested to hear from the chat if you guys make your own mockups or if you buy them or what. How do you guys make them? How do you present your work?
Kyle has a suggestion for you, which is to use auto select, which is a command click and
No.
you have the move tool.
I hate that.
You do? What
Yeah.
about it?
I mean, it is good and it has its benefits, but I don't know. I'm just used to using the select tool because when I was a web designer, I had to make sure that I wasn't moving all these other elements by accident.
Right.
And because you have so many different layers stacked one above each other, you might click something on the wrong layer and it's a nightmare. So I'm just used to doing it the
Fair enough. And Patricia wants to know if you're working in 300 DPI.
I think this one is 72, but I know that the let's have a look. 72, but it's 3,800 pixels wide, so it's really big.
Do you typically make your pitches digitally?
Make my pictures.
When you're talking to the client, do you show them a digital image?
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to do my mockups in 300 DPI because this isn't being printed. This is just a representation of a concept. Okay, so I do have some speckled paper here.
Okay. We're 10 seconds out from the chat and win.
Yes.
Okay, so go wild in the chat. Let us know what your favorite kind of tea is, what you're going to use with your Moo gift certificate.
Yeah.
We're going to watch a little video and then we'll be back with a winner.
Yes.
Hey, rose tea, peppermint, lots of rose tea, business cards.
I see lots of please.
Cinnamon sugar tea.
Oh, cinnamon sugar tea. Earl Grey.
That's my favorite.
Oh, wait, Earl Grey. And I want to make some business cards. Lavender, wow. I've never had lavender tea before.
It's so good with lots of cream. Have you ever? Do you like bubble tea?
Mm-hmm. I actually have seen lavender lattes.
It's so good. I have no idea what bison tea is. I don't know if that's
dirty chai, yes. Chai's my favorite all-time tea.
So good.
So good. I had one just before. Every day. Chinese
it's the time
black
of the
tea.
season.
Yeah. Chai tea, the coffee drinker's tea. Yeah, I think so. Oh, great.
All right. Erin Lafreniere, you are the winner of the $30 Moo gift code.
Congrats, Erin.
Congrats. And for those of us that didn't win, Moo has really generously given us a 15% off coupon. If you go to moo.com/Adobe Live, you'll be able to get a little discount on whatever you want to print.
Cool.
I might use that myself.
Yeah, me too, actually. We were talking about making business cards for ourselves yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like as a creative person, making your own business card is kind of like having an existential crisis.
100%.
Like, who am I?
Right.
It's tough. Okay, so I've just put in this this kind of speckly paper texture in the background, and I'm just going to multiply that and then drop the opacity. So I'm thinking maybe this is like a recycled cardboard or something, and it has bits of like other paper in it or texture, just to play to that, you know, earthy, organic, natural feel that we want to go for.
Complements that texture you created yourself too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I think that's looking, you know, it's pretty good so far. I just want to do the lid here, and then we can move on to doing some other mock-ups.
It looks beautiful.
Thanks. What do you guys think?
Are you gonna do the lid?
I'm going to do the lid. I am. So we had a discussion yesterday about which lid option to go for, and I think the consensus was this middle one here, just a simple B in a foil. What do you guys think?
In the chat, tell us which one you like the most.
Yeah. Undrink it, yes.
So Gabriel's asking how you can submit your portfolio. There is a portfolio review tab here on Behance, and with all the instructions about how to enter. So we'll be reviewing portfolios in about an hour. It's an awesome opportunity to get some feedback from a talented and smart
stop.
designer.
Make me blush.
Yeah, everyone loves the middle, the B.
Okay, cool. That's what we're gonna go for.
Except Kyle.
What does Kyle want?
The left
I like
one.
the left one. Okay, yeah. That is quite cool too. I definitely want to incorporate the B into the packaging somewhere as a feature element. So I think having it on the lid could be, you know, just an easy win.
So here's that clipping mask again.
Clipping mask, so easy. Yeah. So if you save like files that you use a lot to your libraries, it makes your workflow so much quicker. You can save color palettes, like graphics, mock-up templates in there as well.
Type styles.
Yep. Logo graphics.
Yeah, you could set up a whole library for a brand that you're working on, and then do live updates and stuff. It's really handy.
Yeah.
Linked files, definitely look into it if you haven't used them
Especially
before.
if you're doing, for example, like a brand style guide or something, or packaging or something where you need to constantly apply the same elements again and again. Rather than copy and paste, you just drag it in from that library's palette, which makes life really easy. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this paper texture into the top layer, and I just do that really quickly by right-clicking on the layer that I want to copy, going duplicate group, and then you can select which file you want to drop it into, and voila, it is already there. So easy. And I want to copy that color.
And Kyle reminds us to embed if we're handing off a file. Yep, never forget to do that. Check your links panel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or package your file.
Package, always package. The full package. Where are we? Oh, I've lost it. Paper tube, there we go. Okay. So, you know, that's a really rough mock-up, but it's a good place to start from. I might actually just change this background grey too, so that it feels more aligned. Let's just see how this works. Okay. So maybe I'll pick the color of the, no, I've got a multiply light on for some reason. Let's try this. Solid color. Okay, that's better. So whenever I'm doing mock-ups, I want to make it feel really customized to the specific project. That's way too bright. So I'm just going to make it a soft, warm grey. I think that will work well.
Pulling from that orange.
Yeah.
Smart. Sort of inherently
Yeah, it
feels
just
cohesive.
Yeah, the palette kind of just works together. So I think that's kind of good enough for the moment. So using mock-ups is also a really great way if if you are creating work and you don't have the budget or the gear to shoot the work itself for your portfolio, just
Buy the skill.
or the
in my
skill.
case.
Yeah, me too. Just buy some mock-ups or download free ones and put your work into them and use them in your portfolio. It really impresses people, and it just makes you look more professional.
And if the graphic design is beautiful, but the mock-up is, maybe not as beautiful, that can, be kind of a bummer.
Definitely.
And have an impact on how the
the work is perceived.
Exactly.
Yeah. So definitely try and pull from high quality mock-ups. So I might even add a paper texture onto this label here because it's feeling a little flat. So I've got a craft paper texture which I've just desaturated. I'm gonna make it smaller. And then I'll multiply it.
Meet's wondering, any great website for free mocks? So in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, where do you guys?
Yeah.
Where do you guys get your stuff from? There's so many. I think with Adobe Stock you get 10 free downloads.
Yeah, if you sign up.
If you sign up, yeah.
Yep. But there are a lot of free templates that you can download right inside Photoshop too.
Yes, there are. There's so many. Something funky is happening here. Okay. So we've got a really subtle texture going on this label now. So you might not notice it, from the get-go, but it just kind of adds a little bit of dimension and makes it look less flat. Okay, so I think that's a good place to start from, and now I can start rolling this out into the individual tea sachet. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the assets that I already have. So the logo, the pattern, the spec paper, and the background texture. Okay. Duplicate. And let me just remember what that's called. Close that. Okay. Alrighty. Let's just close that one for a minute to make things less confusing. Oh, I also wanted to show you guys these tote bags that I mocked up.
Ooh.
I did this yesterday. So I've got the foil in there too, because you can foil on tote bags, which is really cool. And I added the texture in the background just for some, to make it pop.
Right. It's very important that everything pops.
You've got to make everything pop. But I would actually like to get some feedback on which version you guys at home like, A or B. So with the Byron Bay Tea locked up with the B here, or separated out in this version here. I think tote bags are a really easy way to present branding to clients.
Totally.
It's something you can do really quickly. It's easy when it looks impressive. And it's also a really good thing to put in your portfolio. Just fill it up, you know. So what are you guys thinking? A, B, oh, mixed. A, Amy says A. Tom says B, no A, no B, no.
We're undecided.
A for clarity, B for fun. Mm-hmm. Kyle says B, 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 B. I think we're pretty split.
Yeah, I think so too.
Eric says it doesn't matter. Valid.
The logo's strong.
A is easy to read, yeah. Yeah, okay. We're pretty split. But you know, this would be something that I would just put into the presentation to the client and say, here's what you could do with your brand identity. It's like a cheaper piece of, a cheap and easy piece of collateral to print.
And kind of I don't want to say cheap, but a way to help them fall in love with the mark that you've made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really easy win.
Easy win, that's a nice way
Easy
of saying
win. Yeah. Okay. Other tote bags. Rebecca likes is Rebecca from New Zealand?
Mm-hmm.
She is. Hi, Rebecca.
She's been with us all 3 days.
Hey, Rebecca. Love the dedication. Okay, so let's just get back into this. I'm going to duplicate this here. There we go. Okay. Turn this on. Ooh, 3-dimensional. So I'm thinking for the tea sachet, having the coloured label on top probably won't work for the size of the actual tea sachet, which is about maybe that big. So I'm thinking maybe we just have the pattern banded around the base of it, and then maybe we just run the solid colour around the top part of the tea. So this one is all, these will all be just printed individually, so we don't need to worry about additional labels or anything like that. So just take this colour and I'm going to take out that speckled paper because this is probably going to be a foil for freshness.
Oh.
Okay. Let's just close that.
That makes more sense. I thought it was going to be paper. I was assuming it was paper.
I mean, it could be, but I think foil makes the tea last longer.
It's probably more flexible to design with too, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate this.
Kyle is wondering if green's your favorite color because he sees you use it a lot to label layers.
I think this is the default setting in this mock-up.
Oh, so the one who made the mock-up favorite
maybe
color
like
is
green, yeah.
Bjorn says, imagine having this standing in your kitchen. Really cool.
Thanks.
So nice.
Well, that's part of the goal with this, that the client's brief was that they wanted people to be proud to display this packaging in their home or in their cafe. So that's what we're trying to do here.
I can totally picture a few different flavors on some open shelving.
Yeah.
It'd be beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to copy the label text. Yeah, I'm going to delete this. So I'm sure you guys all do this a very different way to me, but that's okay. So we might just need to condense all of this type and make certain bits bigger. So we want the flavour here. And what else have we got? What's left here? So this will be one single serve tea bag. Or one tea bag, maybe. And we can maybe get rid of this type here.
What do you think? This will be about 2 inches square? Maybe 3? It's pretty small.
I measure in centimeters and millimeters still.
I
getting
always
used to-
post it as 3 inches square, so I think probably a little smaller, huh?
Yeah. I'm still getting used to the metric system here. I still measure temperature in degrees Celsius. It's very confusing.
I think the way you all do it is what makes way more sense.
I agree. So I'm not sure about this left aligned on the tea bag. Maybe in this particular application we center the type. And that's okay to change things up a little, but we'll just see how it looks.
I like it centered here.
Yeah.
Feels right. Marie's asking, what's the benefit of using Photoshop for this type of layout?
Versus InDesign or Illustrator, and what program are most packaging designers? Well, this particular, what I'm doing right now is a mock-up. So this is not print ready or anything. This is just to get the concept across to the client, showing them a contextual example. But definitely, if you're doing something print ready, you'd be doing it in Illustrator or InDesign. I quite often use Illustrator because that's what a lot of suppliers send their die lines in. But I mean, it's just personal preference, and I guess depending on the supplier's preference as well. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. I'm not sure. What do you think? I think the type probably needs to be a bit bigger, but...
Yeah. I would agree.
We might even be able to get rid of that and put that on the back. Maybe this goes down the bottom.
Kyle, we'll have the benefit of having light and reflection once this is a real object, so I think that'll help the readability of the logo.
Yeah. And you can always, I mean, if you want to make it more legible, you can just move, I could move the foil graphic around. So that's a bit better already. Okay, so really quickly we've got some contextual kind of mock-ups here. So I could put that into a presentation, show the client, and they can get an idea of how their branding might look across packaging. I just want to make that more yellow and less red. And pull some magenta out. Okay. And then I want to do the same for this here.
And you're just grabbing the hex code?
Yeah. I should be saving the color to my libraries, but I'm not. I'm not taking my own advice. Okay. I've got a shadow here. It's a bit harsh, so I'll just drop that down to 50%.
Nice.
All right, so what else can we do? So I've done some tote bags. We could maybe look at some stationery.
It's always fun.
Yep.
I like that image.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the crop of it and how everything's kind of on an angle. It's
Yeah.
just a bit unusual.
Different levels of elevation too. It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So did we get a consensus on where everybody likes to get their
There were
mock-up
a few
images from?
suggestions, like, actually I have to scroll a little bit. I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. So I might even, try to do another version of this with another color just to see if it works as well. But we can do that afterwards. Let's try some stationery.
Graphic Burger and Envato Market.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the back of this envelope here. I'm going to double click into the smart object. I'm guessing that is the flap. Let's just check. Yeah, okay. So I'm thinking we could possibly put the pattern into that part of the envelope. That would be quite cool.
Yeah.
And I might just grab the pattern. Let me just see if I can drag it in here. Graphics. Boom.
Nice. Now it's there.
Yes, workflow. Okay. So much easier. And so I really love the organic lines that this pattern has in it, and that's just from the different levels of the water coming into shore. That's probably my favorite thing about this pattern. It has so many different parts that you could concentrate on. Like that part I think there is quite nice. So that's kind of interesting. And then what are we going to do? I'm going to pull this paper color. I'm going to add it to my swatches like a smart person.
And it adds it to your library at the same time if you have that that little box checked.
Yeah, which box?
It was checked already
was?
in that in that last one.
Yes. Oh, I've already saved the stuff to my library. So smart.
I love that when you go back to something that you were working on and you actually find that you did the right thing.
I know. I was already there, way ahead of myself. It's okay. Oh, there we go.
We have some more suggestions. Unblast, Adobe Stock, of course. Fast and Overpower.
Haven't heard of that one.
Me neither. Someone goes to Creative Commons, which is awesome because then you can use them freely without having to worry too much about
I think they have like a
licenses.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of stuff on Creative Commons, which is cool. I actually use it quite often.
Val reminded me that we're 35 minutes out from the portfolio review deadline, so get those
Exciting, guys.
in.
Yellow images, they're really good.
I haven't heard of them.
They're a bit more expensive, but they're really premium mock-ups. I use those and try and charge them back to the client. But they're really good. I've got a whole bunch of them for like they do really good bottle like packaging mock-ups
where glass is a concern.
Yeah. So if you're doing like a vodka or a rum or something, they have nice bottle shapes because glass is really hard to mock up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to close that, and then we can look at this business card here. So I'm just going to run with this pattern across a lot of the collateral and see how that looks.
Why not?
Why not? Let's make it a family. And so because this pattern's so wide, you know, if there was different people working at the company, you could crop the pattern in different areas so that they all kind of match up when you stick them next to each other. That could be quite cool. Or maybe you invert it, so you have a light version and a dark version.
I like that. And for those who weren't watching yesterday, we used a tool called Halftone Zine Machine to get that awesome texture.
Yeah, from True Grit Texture Supply. Add that in there.
Ooh. We haven't seen the foil on the pattern yet.
No, we haven't.
Luxurious.
Yeah, very luxurious. So all of these things are just really simple ways to get your idea across, either to a client or to other people in your portfolio work.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. You just reuse the mock-up once the client approves it.
Yeah, exactly. You're done.
Yep.
So I actually do that quite a lot, and it just makes your whole workflow really, really quick. So that's already looking, you know, it's good. It looks like a family so far. We've got that repetition of the pattern and then the foil. So I might even try and bring some photography into this here, because that's something that we haven't really looked at yet. So one thing I was considering with the branding was, you know, it's a coastal brand, so traditionally you would use a blue, and we haven't used blue anywhere. And we're using, you know, charcoal, black, and white essentially. So I was thinking to introduce the blue. We could just bring that through in the photography, because I know that the client will be doing photo shoots and videography. So rather than using it in our color palette, keeping our color palette really minimal and highlighting the natural blue of the sea through photography. Just so we are not being cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clever.
Because I think to do a blue brand would be expected. And we don't want to do something that's expected.
Right.
Okay, so I've got a bunch of photos I've saved. Ocean. So you can already see, you know, in this photography that blue is really coming across. It's really vibrant and rich, very inviting. So let's try, I think we'll try this one. And I'm just going to mask that into a shape.
Is this something you typically do, is also spec out the art direction that would support the brand?
Yeah, so when I'm presenting branding concepts, I'll try and do some contextual mock-ups. So I always do business cards because, like I said, it's an easy win, and it's something that clients can usually afford to print, or they might need. And then, you know, maybe I'll mock up some, like how the Instagram might look, or how our website might look. Just really quickly, you can just put the logo onto a background image. It's that simple, and maybe even just type out a positioning statement or something. And then, I mean, a lot of people don't really use letterheads and envelopes these days, so maybe a postcard is one that I will often use, or a note card, a thank you card, specifically if they have a product that they're selling, because a lot of people like to include thank you cards or note cards when they're sending out their purchases. Right,
or something to bring to a trade show.
Yeah, just something different.
Takeaway.
Yeah. So note cards they're a good way to go. And you can print those with Moo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that 15% off code.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Roy would really like it if you demonstrated the Halftone zine machine.
Oh, yeah? I mean, it's pretty quick. I can. Okay. Where are we? Pasty. Okay. So this is it here. And I'm going to use images. So we use the actual image that we did yesterday, which is this one here.
So that's a smart object that you're editing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get this PSD, it has a whole bunch of different layers in it. It's all really well labeled, well named. It says double click to place your image, so I'm doing that. And then I'm just going to drag my photo or whatever you want to process in here. It already has a saturation layer which strips out all the color. Just save that, and then go back to the original image, and it's already applied the first, the first halftone pattern here. So this one is halftone dot 60 degrees distressed. So you can just switch all these different textures on and off to see what works. And then, so this image has a lot of light at the top, so it doesn't quite work with a lot of these patterns. So what I would do is go and adjust the levels. So we want to make the lights darker. And you can make the darks lighter if you want a more even pattern. So just dragging the white so it's more grey. And that just increases the density of the dots.
Cool.
Super easy, like the fastest way ever to create a halftone pattern out of anything.
Olivia's curious if you use that technique on your dust project.
I did.
Good
yes.
eye.
Good eye. I did that the manual way. That was before this was available on offer. But yes, I did. I took images of bread and I halftoned them to make it more abstract.
We're talking about.
I think if you scroll down, oh yeah. So yeah, and then, yeah, so that's a loaf of bread, halftoned it. And then
see it here too.
On here there's a subtle texture which you might not be able to see on screen. Here this is a halftone piece of bread that's just really kind of blown up and zoomed in. So it looks like dust, which is
beautiful.
Which is fun. Yeah.
There it is.
There it is again, yeah. On the pizza box, unfortunately that was never printed because it was a nightmare to print.
Oh, how sad.
I know,
it looks amazing.
I know. And I think that image is actually inverted as well because the positive version looked too much like bread, so I inverted it to make it more abstract.
I know, it's almost like the moon's surface or
yeah,
something.
Yeah, it's almost like terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
so the Zine machine is just a really quick way to do that process.
Giving away all your secrets.
Well, you can buy this, so it's you guys should go out and buy it. It's a really fun way to add texture to your work, especially if you want to create something that looks quite handcrafted and zine-y. And you can also go in, so Stipple was the one that I used. So you can just zoom in here and see the dot stipples. You can also change the colors. Where are we here? So you can make it a duotone. Yeah, it's all really easy.
Lovely.
Gradient there. Super simple. An easy way to get an interesting effect on your images. Yeah, so it's that. So if you scale the image larger, will it mess with the effects? No, because your image is in a separate a smart object. So, where are we? So let's just scale that one bigger, and then save that. And that's just going to update the settings that you've already got in there to apply to the larger image. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And you can adjust the density, the scale of the pattern.
Cool.
Yeah. So just make the dots bigger or smaller, depending on how much detail you want, depending on how much contrast your image has.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
No worries. And then to save it out, it has a built-in action which automatically saves as a bitmap TIFF, which you can then bring into Illustrator and then colorize it in Illustrator by just clicking the swatches. So really simple. Yeah.
It's a great technique.
Hope that helps, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually use it way too much. It's really, Voodoo Val says it's really trippy watching the density change.
I know,
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful.
It's fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Back to the ocean.
Yes. Justin says noise. So I want to combine an image of the ocean with maybe an image of some tea or tea drinking. What have we got here? So maybe we pull, let's pull this one in. So you can use photography to bring about colours in your palette too. So we could even just layer something like that, and then maybe we add another layer of type. So let's just increase this font size. Enjoy the magic of Byron Bay.
So simple.
So simple. And then what I'm going to do, boom, add in that foil to the type. And we're going to write, enjoy the magic of Byron Bay in every cup.
How nice.
Okay. And so maybe that's left line too. So this is really rough, guys. Don't judge me.
Looks great.
But it's just showing you, how you can bring about unexpected treatments, layering. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. And sort of build out the feeling around the brand a little bit more.
Definitely. So let's just save this as a rough. Voodoo Val says it's foil time. It's foil time. Oh, cool. So this one, oh, there we go. So that's super rough. I would normally spend much more time doing that, but it's okay. So already we're kind of seeing how everything kind of works as a family. So we have that charcoal pattern, we have that foil repeated, we have the creamy color repeated, and then now we're bringing in that really punchy blue to represent the ocean, paired with the kind of neutral palette of the tea image, which kind of references the rest of the neutral palette as well. So I think, it could work. So I might even want to mask this image, make it smaller. So just drawing a rectangle, holding down Option, and then clicking in between the layers. And that's just going to mask that image in there. Oh no, I did this yesterday. Here we go. And I might even change this type here to the serif that we were working with. crazy how much it changes it instantly.
Right.
We're here forever on replay. Sarah.
Frozen in time. If you haven't been tuning in this week, I highly recommend going back and watching because we've come a long way since Tuesday.
We have. We've come so far. Okay. So this is the front of the envelope here. So I'm probably just going to repeat the word mark. Have it smaller down in the corner, just something really simple. Foil on everything.
Because we can.
Because we can. When you can't foil, you can just print a solid color. That's kind of a similar tone. So let's close down the Zine machine. Maybe for this particular mock-up, we'll put it at the top so you can see. And we might even put the B on the back of the envelope. What do you think?
Why not?
Why not?
We don't have it here yet.
No, we don't. That is something to consider. What we actually could do is, let me grab it. We can put it into this piece of printed collateral. So maybe that sits down in the corner. Yeah.
A little taste.
And we could even put the word mark down here. I kind of like to switch up the usage of, you know, your word mark and an icon. Sometimes you don't need to have everything. Sometimes less is more. So I think the good thing about having an icon or an emblem or whatever you want to call it is you can use it in place of the word mark where you just want to kind of stamp it. Like people still recognize it as part of your brand, so you don't always have to say everything.
Right. Especially when you have a long name.
Exactly. So let's just leave the word mark out. We don't need it.
Somebody's howling outside.
Maybe it was a real dog.
Maybe.
Is it a full moon?
Oh. We're about 15 minutes out from that portfolio deadline, so definitely submit for
Yeah.
some feedback from Cristie.
Oh.
I guess they did hear it.
They did?
Yeah.
It's a werewolf.
It's okay, at least it's Thursday.
Yeah. It's not,
If it's all,
it's not Friday
if we
though.
get eaten,
Yeah.
we got through our streams.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Okay, and then what can we do with this other piece of paper here? Maybe that could be. Maybe we can just do that as the letterhead, or something like that.
Sounds good to me.
What's a fun? What I like to do if I'm mocking up a letterhead is having just the front of it really simple with some minimal branding, and then on the back of it having the brand pattern or a color or something, just to have that real contrast when you flip the piece of paper over.
We saw that in your dust project with the sort of the leaf up. On
Yeah,
the,
yeah, it's very unexpected,
Yeah,
which I
it's
like. I like to
beautiful.
keep people surprised. Okay. Add in the icon. And then we might just add some business details. Which I have. Copy.
Ivan's wondering, let's say you do a design test to apply for a company. Can you put that design test in your portfolio later on? I think it'd be case by case. You'd have to ask for permission.
Yeah, if the company signs off and says it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
but it might be something that's confidential, we might have to sign an NDA.
Yeah. And that stuff's serious.
Yeah, it's serious. They can sue you. So
Be
you don't
careful.
want that. So I think as long as you ask permission and they say it's fine, then you're good. No issues. So
How do you feel about a pumpkin latte?
I've never had one.
I
I haven't lived in America for very long, so I'm still getting used to all the subtleties.
Laura's excited for a pumpkin latte craze that happens this time of
Yeah,
year.
yeah. I've started to see it coming up on cafe menus. Oh, see, Bjorn. Huh. Does it taste like pumpkin?
No.
What's the point?
I don't know.
I mean, I like pumpkin pie. Does it taste like pumpkin pie?
It has sort of like the clovey, cinnamony,
Cinnamon,
yeah, taste, but I don't get pumpkin at all when I drink it.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's just make up a, just say, where's that one? I'm just going to make up some details down here. So put the name, the address, 123, Bangalow. It's an Australian word.
Okay.
Yeah, we have weird names in Australia. Let's make this up. Bangalow Road. Bangalow. In the city that I used to live in, Sydney, there was a suburb called Woolloomooloo.
Woolloomooloo?
Yeah.
That's great.
It's a very long Woolloomooloo.
Wooloo.
It's a long word.
Wow. I guess it's a relief that you're not doing Woolloomooloo Tea Company instead of Byron Bay is long enough.
Yeah. And then we'll make up a postcode.
It's so sad that we don't use letterhead anymore.
I know.
Because it's so fun to design.
The art form
It's
is
beautiful.
lost. I know. But we can still mock it up and pretend.
Right.
So we'll have the address there. Let's just put some contact details on the other side to balance it out. So we do telephone. So the Australian extension is +1. And we're going to do mobile. So oh no, that's... Okay. And then because we're old school, we're going to do a fax. Actually, we're not going to do a fax. So telephone, what else do you have? Email.
It's important.
Email's important. So we're just going to do hello@bbtc.com.au. And then what else do we have? Website. And that's it. So smart.
Dustin, call at your own risk.
Yeah. Byron Bay.
Long distance charges.
Yeah. Byron Bay Tea Company.com.au. So you know what? I don't even like to add the T and the E and the W before contact details anymore.
It's obvious what
It's
they
obvious,
are.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like it's a bit messy. And it's too old school.
Rebecca grew up in a country town called Balaclava.
Balaclava, like as in the balaclava?
I don't know what that is.
It's like what a robber would use.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense.
Wow. In New Zealand?
Balaclava, I've never heard that before.
Oh, really?
Is it an Australian thing?
I didn't think so.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you were a robber, the black mask that you would wear, you called it a balaclava.
With the eye
the
holes.
holes in the mouth hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Useful information.
Mm-hmm.
Hola, Oscar from Cancun.
Hey, Dustin. Hey, Daniel. That's a mask. Yep, Kyle's right. Okay, so the only other thing that I want to do is just change the color of this. Oh, what if we did the envelope grey?
Gray.
Maybe a little too harsh.
I feel like I can't really tell
Yeah.
that it's not lighting.
Yeah, let's not do that.
People like the gray.
Oh, they do? Okay. Yeah, okay, well, we'll switch it up. Let's try it on the back. Yeah. I mean, a foil would look great against the grey. Can you get black envelopes? Probably can.
Yeah.
You can get any colour.
Sure.
You can get any colour. Contrast is good, you know.
That's really
Keep
nice.
people on their toes. Yeah, I think it could work. Has some contrast, has some pop.
Right. You would feel special getting that letter.
Yeah, because black is like luxury. It's really special.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stick with it then. Let's make the front that grey too. Okay, what are you thinking? What do you guys think? Do you like the grey?
I like this because, you know, the letter inside would be more light.
Yeah,
and
it's surprise.
It would feel
Yeah.
special.
Cool.
I love it.
Colour plan by J.F. Smith. I love J.F. Smith. What I actually really like to do, and this might be a trick for you guys at home, is I go to the Colour Plan website and you can see all their different paper colours, and you can download like a pretty high res version, so you get the paper texture and the colour. And so I like to place those into my work and just kind of use the saturation tool to change the colour of the paper if I'm doing like a business card mock-up or something.
Oh.
And it just makes things look so much more realistic.
The site is wild.
It's wild. But they have different like embossings. If you go up to embossings, they have some pretty crazy papers. So you can actually download all of these images and textures and add them into your work.
This is really cool.
Yeah, so you can download the light version or the dark version. I think I actually used this for one of the concepts I originally did.
That's an awesome resource.
Yeah. So yeah, adding this stuff to your work
Awesome.
is super easy, but it just kind of elevates your work and, you know, makes it a step up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so, you know, this is looking okay so far, I think. One other thing that I did want to explore was open up InDesign, Illustrator.
Oh, just a quick heads up, we're nearing our portfolio submission deadline, so if you
Cool.
have been doing some last minute changes, get that link in.
Get it in, guys. Okay, so let's just create a new document. One artboard. Okay. Images processed. Here we go. So one thing that I keep talking about, you know, this image is that I love these lines that kind of show up from the different levels of water lapping against the sand. So I want to play on that and maybe create a new brand asset that is a bit more simplified. So let me just lock this layer here. going to need to enlarge this. Bring this up here. Okay, so I'm going to create a more simplistic form of this kind of wavy pattern here. So I'm just going to use the pencil tool and just quickly mimic the line work. So that's good enough. And then do it here. And so this could be something that, you know, maybe sits on top of the image, or maybe is used where we can't actually use the stipple pattern. So if I just turn off the pattern in the background, I've got these simplistic shapes here. Just gonna increase the stroke width. Okay, so that kind of mimics, you know, it's close enough. I probably want to play around with this a little more. But this could be something that we use, maybe we use it on the letterhead. The letterhead. So I'm just going to paste them in as a smart object. Doesn't need to be too perfect to begin with. And then I want to tone it right down so it's really light and subtle. Maybe it goes down the bottom here.
Nice. Kind of engages your eye too in that mock-up.
Yeah. But something that might even be interesting is I'll delete that one. And I'm going to use the width tool to add a bit of variation.
Love the width tool.
Yeah.
That's again another secret weapon that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
So pay attention, y'all.
Okay. Now let me remember how to do it. Okay. So it is it Shift W?
Yes.
Yes. Shift W. So you have a stroke. Let's just turn this off so you guys can see it better. So you have a stroke. It's all uniform. Kind of boring. We want to add some interest in it, make it feel a bit more natural. So the width tool is really great because you don't destruct the stroke that you already have, so you can still continue to increase or decrease the stroke weight. So you hold down Shift W and you get this little dot, this little white dot that comes up. And so let's start at the end here. So you can hold down Command and Shift, and just allows you to taper and expand areas of the stroke. You can choose to do it on one side or on both sides.
Cool. We're coming up on that portfolio review deadline.
Cool.
Nice. That was easy.
I mean, this isn't perfect, but you guys can already see, you know, what a difference it makes. And your stroke is still live, so you can, you know, add width.
Great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play a little video and we'll be reviewing portfolios in just a minute.
Cool.
All right, we made it.
We're in space.
We're in space.
Bowie's in space.
I think the atmosphere's safe now.
I don't know. This is kind of cool in here.
Yeah, you can stay in there if you want.
No, it sounds weird. Let's take this.
You look good in that.
Oh, thanks. It's my first time going to space.
Mine too. Okay, so we have Amit's portfolio here. Amit Sharma, who's a product and visual designer. And I'll let you drive if you want.
You can drive.
Okay. Is there a project that's appealing to you?
Okay, let's scroll down, see what else we've got. Okay. So the first one that's jumping out to me is at the top, the natural bites. The third
Natural
one
bites.
I want to see more.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
These illustrations are charming.
They're so cute, and I love it when things move in people's portfolios.
Me too.
It's really eye-catching, and it just makes you look a bit more up-leveled from everybody else, I think.
Yeah, and I like that you put it right at the top too.
Yeah.
It instantly engages you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that you didn't use a literal color palette for these
Yeah,
fruits.
it's really cute. It's very pared back and considered. Yeah, I love the animations, and I like how the color fill is offset.
Me
like
too.
A screen print or something. It's really cute. Nice. So it's showing the process from the initial sketches to the color, and then the logo. Yeah, that's cool. Showing process work is really interesting in portfolios as well.
I think so too.
Yeah. Nice. So showing that it looks, well, showing that it works in different color palettes. That's good. Yep. Very cool. Nice.
I would pay attention to the rivers you have happening in this paragraph. Maybe don't justify it on each side and left align it instead.
Yeah.
Only because this is pretty large type and it's such a short paragraph that stuff is really noticeable.
Yeah, the regular version is fine.
Yeah.
That looks good. Yeah. It's nice showing, which font choices you've used in a project as well, I think.
I agree.
Designers really appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's important.
Yeah. Very cute. It's good to see mock-ups. I'm guessing these are mock-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really nice. Cool. So talking a bit about the story of the brand. That's nice. Cute. So this looks like a really fleshed out project, which is great to see. Showing the art direction for the photography. Solid. Very cool. So these look like business cards. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cute.
Square.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel as unified to me for some reason. I guess it's the
Yeah,
type.
the type choice is different to the rest.
Yeah. So it's one thing to consider. And it could be that this is central part of the brand. We just haven't seen any of it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
That you might think about how that could be inserted elsewhere. Great.
That's a really great project. Really fleshed out. That's awesome. Yeah, good to see all the different applications.
Right. So the examples are well done, and I like how you've laid out the project page
Yeah,
too.
the flow is really good. Keeps you engaged. You've got that pop of yellow kind of running through the whole project, which is good. Nice. Really detailed. Okay, what's next? What about this one? Aja? Is that how you say it?
Tell us how.
So in African mythology, Aja is a spirit of herbal healing. Okay, with her mystic wind purifies the physical and mental state of being. Okay. They've created cuisine that keeps authenticity of the world's street food flavors. That is good. Okay. So it's about natural flavors, pure, healthy, organic. Okay.
Fresh, grilled, healthy.
Okay, right, there we go. Yeah. And I'm guessing that the goat is a reference to...
Is this an old logo?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this a rebrand? Yeah, maybe it's a rebrand.
Possibly.
You might, that's it. That shouldn't be a question, probably. You don't want people to confuse the old logo with what you've worked on. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's just checkbox.
Oh, so, okay, so maybe these were two concepts that were presented.
Maybe.
Yeah, and that's the one that the client went with.
I would clarify that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. For the clients. Okay, cool.
Bubble
Nice.
tea.
Yeah. So again, really good to see the logo executed in mock-ups. It's really helpful. Shows that you've considered how it's going to work across a breadth of different applications.
Yeah. I think this menu is nice.
Very earthy.
That you've included some in situ elements.
Yeah. You're definitely going for that craft look, natural feeling.
Good that you thought about material as part of the brand.
Yeah. I like how you've just used the one colour black on the craft paper as well. And you've used the craft paper texture, not just a solid colour, which I like. Nice. And so some little illustrations on the bottom, which are cute. And so I'm guessing these are like ads.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell.
Promo.
You have a lot of different type going on here. This one feels good compared to the others.
Yeah, I feel like the hobo is probably not working.
Right.
I quite like the one where you have it fresh as a smile. The actual logo mark itself looks like two eyes and a nose. So I'm guessing that's kind of where it comes from. It's a smiley face. So that's clever.
But then, so that contrasted with the way that this feels. This sort of feels economical or like anonymous somehow in comparison.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So some more mock-ups. Oh, cool. This
That's
looks
adorable.
great. I love the green. Yeah, that's really cute. Very cool.
Yeah, those little barbecue icons.
Yeah.
Cute.
And then for eat good, feel. Oh, eat, feel good. Good feel. Cool. Nice. And then that's what might happen in the cafe.
Yeah.
Like a little, like their philosophy, their positioning statement, which is cool. So this is actually really interesting as well, seeing how branded elements might play out in the physical space. So that's interesting.
Cool.
Nice one.
I like that interior.
Yeah, it's great. Industrial but natural.
Right.
Yeah. Nice work.
I think we have time for one more project, probably.
Okay. So everything else looks like icons and UX, UI. So maybe we can look at one of those.
Okay.
Let's try this right on movie time.
Okay. Oh, you have a little XD video in here.
Cool.
Maybe it's XD.
I like seeing the animation. It's
Me
really
too.
nice.
Feels real.
Yeah, it's so much more enticing than just seeing the flat screens all laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Showing how the user interacts with it. It's really cool. And I like that pinky red dusty background that you put it on as well. Awesome. So I think that's just playing through again.
Yeah. I'm a little curious what it is.
Yeah, maybe you could include some detail about the project, what the brief was, even doing some, including some wireframe sketches.
Mm-hmm.
That would be quite cool. Yeah, nice one.
Cool. I like that particular moment where they sort of reassemble the thumbnails do. Great. So
Nice one.
everyone give Amit a follow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for putting yourself out there.
Yeah,
It's not
awesome
easy
work.
to have
It's
your work
not
judged.
easy.
But
it's
great
how
job.
you grow.
Totally. Yeah.
Awesome work, Amit.
Thank you. Okay, now we get to look at Rebecca's work.
Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca.
She's a freelance graphic designer, digital palette graphic design.
Ooh, digital palette graphic design. I've never heard of that title before.
Oh, maybe that's her company.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, right.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. I was going to say, all these new titles are
I
just
know.
popping out of nowhere. How about we look at the first project she has up in the left corner there, the moisturizing cream range. I'm guessing this is probably a newer project. Cool. So it's good to have the brief at the top.
Mm-hmm. African market, 18 to 38, ladies.
Cool. So that shows to me that you've really considered the strategy before you actually go into the concept work, which I think as a designer is not often done, but really important.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it just makes you look way more professional. So nice work there. So is it called Do you think? Do?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So daily essentials, day care, skincare. Nice. So you're really working with like a minimal palette of pink and green, which feels very feminine, fresh, youthful. And that looks like might be stock photography in there.
Yeah, I might pay close attention to the image quality.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you need to show it a little bit smaller, feel free to do that.
Yeah.
So we have some color variations indicating the different skin types.
This one actually looks like it's better quality, the actual image. Doesn't look as pixelated. So it's nice to see the different range for the different SKUs. I can imagine them all sitting on the shelf next to each other. Oh, there we go. Cute.
One really simple change you could make is looking at this perspective here, because technically we shouldn't see the underside of that cap if they're sitting on this shelf.
Yeah.
So either emphasize the non-reality of it, or make it feel integrated by adjusting the coloring of that.
One thing that I like to do when I'm I have a skincare project in my portfolio, and I just put the mock-ups on a flat marble background. It's really simple, but it just, it makes the product really stand out. So I think for me, there's a little bit too much happening in this in situ mock-up. I think you really want to make the product shine, so just having it on a simple background, maybe a complementary color, that could work really nicely.
And then you have less to worry about in terms of perspective too, which is handy.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yep.
Cool. So again, I would probably just look at, just be careful about the, so in this particular case, the reflections, they don't quite match up and they overlap a little bit. Just really paying attention to detail. I think that's...
Yeah, and I also might recommend cropping it if you're really attached to those reflections, cropping it so that we aren't looking at upside down tight.
Yeah, so what you can do is you can crop it, create a new layer on top, and then gradient it from like a white to a transparent, so kind of fades out, which is how a real reflection would possibly look. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
I wonder if that exists in the world.
Yeah, does it? Let us know.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah. So digital palette, so personal branding, personal portfolio. What else have we got? Seems like you've done a lot of work for Australian brands. Okay, anything that you want to look at here? City.
I'm interested in the personal branding just because we've been talking a little bit about that, about how hard it is.
Yeah.
So it feels super feminine with that pastel palette.
Very on trend at the moment, that pink. So what I want to know is who are you trying to target? That would be something interesting.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the branding for yourself?
Okay, so for me, there's a pretty big disconnect between what this feels like and what this feels like.
Definitely.
I immediately, with that black and yellow color palette, it almost feels like a warning, like sort of intense.
Yeah, and I think it feels quite masculine in comparison to the business card and the color palette there.
Right.
So if she was to hand me her business card as a client and then send me an invoice, I would be like, is this from the same person? I'm not sure.
And on top of that, I might feel like, this invoice, is this a problem? Like what? Its attitude is entirely different.
Yeah.
But I think that the good news is that with a simple color change, that could change everything.
One trick as well when you're invoicing clients is to make the price really light and small, because it makes it appear as though it's less.
It's a good tip.
Psychology, yeah. Yeah. So don't make your price bold. If you're charging a lot, then choose a light font weight and make it smaller than the other details.
It's a good tip.
Yeah.
Thank you for your business. Okay, so now we're back on brand, I think, with this.
Yeah, this is feeling better. So one thing I'd probably just look at is the spacing on your footer there. Just kind of evening that out. So maybe you're doing this in InDesign or Illustrator, so just working out your margins and kind of aligning everything to that and making sure you've got equal space. So just increasing the space above your business name in the footer, and then the top part of the top band of the pink there.
I might add a little bit more leading, so that feels like a little bit lighter and more airy.
Yeah. A bit more breathing room.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you could even bring the whole margin set in here.
Agreed.
Yeah. But it definitely feels like it aligns more with your business cards and everything. Okay, so here we've got a mix of the two design styles. So the black and the yellow, and then the pinky color.
I think that this really, it illustrates the point of just unifying these two somehow.
Yeah. It is interesting though that the business stuff has a different look.
Right, that is a good point.
Maybe she's done that intentionally.
Maybe. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
She says she was a very new designer when I designed this. Definitely going to update my portfolio.
Nice.
It's important to do that. I haven't updated mine in a really long time.
Neither have I. It's hard.
Great.
Cool. I like this this image of the woman here and the busy women's fitness.
Move through it a little quickly.
Mm-hmm. I'd be interested to know, Rebecca, did you do the icon of the logo icon there?
Lots of information to work with in these flyers.
Yeah. Cool. New boot camp at Moreland School. Okay. Purple. There we go. It's the Pantone color of the year.
Purple again.
Yeah. I think for me that one feels a bit more modern.
I agree.
Than the left one.
Yeah, something about this neon teal feels old-fashioned a little bit.
I'd maybe just consider refining the color palette down to a few select colors with the white.
It'll help you read all of this as well.
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you so much for submitting, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca.
And thanks for watching us all week.
Thanks, guys.
So with that, we have just a few minutes left.
Oh, okay.
So maybe we could run through really quickly what we did today.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to wrap it all up.
Sure. So maybe let's see how fast this website loads. Okay, so this is where we started with the branding, Byron Bay Tea Company. So the packaging kind of wasn't quite working for the target market, so we had a look at redoing the logo, the color palette, and the packaging. So that's where we started. And then on day one, let me see if I've still got it open. I showed you two concepts that I had already done. A more minimal one here, modern. This one was a bit more classic. And then we worked on a third concept which combined the traits of the previous two versions. So we started with this serif typeface here, broke it down by removing all of the serifs by hand, adding in some details to this R here, removing that join. And then we ended up here. And then I went away, worked on it a little bit, and ended up coming up with this version, which was a bit more modern and geometric, and kind of played on the wave idea, referencing Byron Bay. And then we did some various variations on a minimal lockup, just for tight spaces. And then worked on the bee icon. And then what else did we do?
So much.
So much. We looked at some label layouts and colors, worked on some quick mock-ups in Illustrator, created this textured pattern here, Zine machine, Halftone Zine machine.
Our new BFF.
Our new BFF. You know, combined the bee with the different colorways to see how everything worked together. And then today we did some mock-ups. So we have a tea bag, and we have a cylinder, a paper cylinder, and what else did we do? We did the stationery. So we got through some stuff.
A lot. Yeah, so we learned all about how to make mock-ups and
yeah,
sort of cultivating that brand styling through through those mock-ups and
yeah, learn a few
Beautiful.
tips and tricks for shortcuts in design, in Illustrator and Photoshop.
yeah, those clipping masks.
Yeah.
So we have just a couple more minutes. Are there any finishing touches?
So I might show you guys, while we have some time, how the actual final packaging has come out. So this is what this is what I finally ended up with. So this is just one color that I worked with, but obviously it's going to be rolled up across 23 different colors in the range.
And it's a box.
This one is a refill bag.
Oh, okay.
So it's, you know, it needs to be really economical. It's just to pour the tea from this bag into your really nice canister at home. So I've just kind of kept it really minimal on the front, included the pattern into the gusset of the bag.
Okay. So the part that expands.
The parts on the side, that expands. We have this little seal up on the top here, which is just an added detail. And then this is all the mandatory information that we have to have, this sticker that goes on top.
Those pesky little logos that have to go on.
Logos, yeah. This is the tea bag, a couple of options. So I added this, you know, the natural line that we decided to do before. So again, lots of information to try and fit on there, but I think it works okay. And we've got the steps and how to make the tea there too. So just I got these icons from Noun Project, I think, or Icon Monster, one of those ones. This is the cylinder, how it finally ended up. Got two different lid variations here. So this will all be foiled. I put the URL up on the side, which is kind of a cool little detail. And then this is the box, a small box, a little square box. And so I gave the clients some variations on what the stickers might look like.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what we...
It's so interesting to see
finally
how it all
ended up
turned
with.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Can we purchase it here?
No. It's in production.
Someday.
So maybe one day. Yeah. Probably online at some point when it's done.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Adobe Live,
Thank
Cristie.
you. It's so good to be
I
here.
learned a ton from you. Thanks everybody for joining the chat, and definitely come back next week on Tuesday for some more content.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Bye.